Please welcome Symphony Retail AI's Associate Vice President Pre-Sales, Jonathan Ty Walker, to the stage.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm going to spend about 10-15 minutes talking to you this afternoon about our point of view regarding the use of prescriptive and generative AI in retail today. And it's not just a point of view that we hold at Symphony AI, it's actually something that is quite common across the grocery industry today. I was in Paris about 2 or 3 months ago presenting at World Retail Congress, and Alexander Bompard, the chairman and CEO of Carrefour, said there are 3 things that will be affecting grocery retail in the next 5 years: price inflation, global conflict, and generative AI. So hopefully I'm going to spend a little time today just talking to you about how that's going to happen. And it starts with this guy. This is Eric. Everyone in the entire auditorium, everyone in the conference center knows Eric. Eric is a category manager. Some of you have Eric in your teams. Some of you might be Eric. But every single week on a Monday morning, Eric has to prepare a review of his business. There it is. So he has to prepare a review of his business for that senior trading meeting after lunch. He has to understand what happened in his business, why did it happen, who did it happen to, and what should he do next. He should be pulling data from across different sources, different silos. He's got to be pulling assortment data, pricing data, promotions data from across the different architectures within his business. That's why his face looks a little bit like that. It's a huge piece of work. It's a huge lift. And the exciting thing is he has to do it every single week. It's a repetitive action. So what Eric needs to do is then prepare this data, prepare this information for that senior vice president to understand what's going on in his organization. And these meetings are common across every retailer. We know that they are often quite accusatory, hence the pointy finger, because Eric will need to justify why his sales may be up or down. And he may say something along the lines of, well, my promotions didn't work very effectively. Promotions team will then stand up and go, well, the promotions were working fine, but we didn't have the stock on the shelves. Then the stock team and the in-store ops team will say we didn't have the supply chain operating. It can be quite a rotational accusatory session. That is the repetition that we think applying generative and predictive AI to can really start to make a key difference for retailers on a global level. Now, this is Ramesh Wadhwani. He's the founder of Symphony AI, and about 2.5 years ago took a strategic step using foresight, using our senior leadership to make that decision to start to really invest in predictive AI and generative AI. We've been embedding AI into our architecture systems across the different merchandising and marketing solutions, store and space solutions, supply chain solutions for about 7 or 8 years. But with the emergence of generative AI, the strategic direction was taken there to start to make that change. The reason that that's important, because it allows us to go on this journey of artificial intelligence. We've all come from a place where business intelligence is paramount and is known to everyone. But when with the application of more advanced machine learning capabilities, predictive AI capabilities, we're able to start to do more with the data we have available to us. Now, the application of predictive and generative AI brings all of those data sources across the organization together. So we move from a place of understanding what happened in the past to why did it happen, being able to understand causality from the data we're looking at. And beyond that, we're now in a place where the application of generative AI allows us to do so much more at speed. We're able to drive speed to insight and speed to action, helping our man Eric to do more at speed. And if I just press this little button here, we get to a point where all the data from across the different parts of the retail organization are seamlessly available to the user. Remember Eric and his sad face, back a couple of slides. This is how we can empower him to do so much more at speed. As I say, driving speed to insight and speed to action. And this is where we are today. We're leveraging our heritage as an organization in artificial intelligence, in grocery retail, to really deliver generative AI capabilities. What you see here on the little video is just how we're bringing this to life. And this is the point of view of how could we apply those technologically advanced capabilities to common use cases across retail. Yes, we all see lots of data from lots of different sources, lots of different silos. If we can apply the generative AI layers on top of the predictive AI layers, we have access to data at speed. We can look at category reviews at speed. We can bring together data from across different parts of our organization to offer a prescriptive and diagnostic look at your business. We've worked with retailers on a global level, and some of the feedback we're getting is this technology and this application of generative AI for retail is saving the time I spend on analytics by up to 75%. It's allowing our teams and our retailers to be so much more strategic, more perspective looking than they have been. We're over on booth 614, and I've had people come up to me all week and they've been saying, this is a no-brainer for retailers. We're bringing together not only merchandising and marketing skills, but you can see here, out of stock, store operations capabilities are now a part of the architecture and a part of the generative AI scene. Yes, I've got prescriptive analytics there with the causality telling me what happened, why did it happen, assortment, pricing, promotions, and now I'm looking at out of stocks in a particular store as a problem area. The connected retail journey, empowered by predictive and generative AI, is really where the future of grocery retail exists for us and our point of view. Here we can see how, just through prompt and response technology, we can all type, we can all ask questions. The large language model technology is interpreting those questions in an enterprise secure AI capability that's then trained on grocery retail exclusively. At no point do we want to be going out and referencing all of the data on the internet. This is exclusive for that retailer. So the hallucinations you sometimes get with a chat GPT are gone. Explainability, repeatability is a huge part of what we're doing here. And as you can see on the little demonstration that's running, we're bringing promotions explanatory data together, as well as then forecasting as well. And what this is doing is just enabling Eric to do so much more at speed. So that preparation for his Monday morning, he can interface and collaborate with members of his team. He can share insights, and we can leverage the power of artificial intelligence, especially predictive and generative AI, to do so much more at speed. That kind of got to a bit of a crescendo there. So I'm going to leave you with one note, and it's about foresight. We feel at Symphony that the retail industry is really at an inflection point. I'll explain Magic Johnson in a moment. So what we really are thinking now is, how do we help retailers move forwards? Take Magic Johnson, for example. In 1979, he was offered a contract by Nike for $1 for every single pair of shoes and a flat fee of $100,000, which he refused. He took an annual contract with Converse for $100,000. Now, that Nike deal was 100,000 stock at Nike in 1979. Magic Johnson probably lost about $5 billion over the course of that contract. Now, we're not worried about Magic Johnson. We know he's a very successful businessman. But conversely, we have Beyonce on the right here. Now, the message here is, and maybe people know this story, Beyonce was offered about $6 million to perform at Uber's conference in 2016. She refused that and said, you know what, Uber, I'll take stock instead. So when they floated, she made about $300 million. The message really here is about foresight. It's not about looking at the now, it's where can we take retail journey? And we feel at Symphony, the winners, the retailers that really win, the CPGs that really win, will be those that not only are a little bit more Beyonce, but they're the ones that show a little bit more foresight. If you want to talk about this any further, as I say, we're about 50 meters that way at 614, and it'll be wonderful to explore it with you a little bit more. Thank you.